Hello everybody, it's Greg Selber again for 956, and if you can hear some noise behind me, that's because we're at McAllen's Memorial Stadium and the band is doing their thing, getting ready to work out. It's all part of the special effect here at 956 and Fox. What we're here to do today is talk about defense. Last week we came at you with the offensive All-Valley team preseason version. This week we're going to talk about defense. Now I think that I'd have to say that the defensive team that we've selected has a ton of talent. We've got speed, we've got some size, we got some playmakers, maybe even a guy from right here in McAllen. So I invite you guys to sit back like you did last week, I hope anyway. Check out our All-Valley defensive preseason team as we get closer and closer to the kickoff of Valley Football 2012. We'll begin the defense by looking at the line. Now we've got some real animals and beasts, and of course you use that term and it's positive. It didn't used to be, but it is today. The first guy is named Jock Guillot from Port Isabel. Only a junior, but let me tell you, at 240, he runs a 4.7. He's got great agility, absolute D1 prospect. Comes from a great family of athletes, and I feel like the thing that impressed us here at 956 the most was the presence that the guy had. I mean, he's intelligent, he's bright, he seems to have a real grasp of some of the things he wants to do with his life, and hey, if he'll be a successful player and a successful student athlete someday.
And I told Stump, I said, you know, I want to play defensive end, and he gave me the opportunity. I grasped it in my bare hands, and it was a success. Hopefully, for these next 2 years, I can make it even bigger and better achievements.
Garrett Sharp, McAllen Memorial, if we could point to one guy who's put the most in the weight room this summer, will you see Garrett Sharp? Not only will you see him not at end, but you'll see him at linebacker. This kid has gotten enormous, man. He has lifted, he's gotten stronger, added 20 or 30 pounds, and Memorial's going to need him because they've got some defensive holes to fill. His play at that linebacker spot in the middle is going to be key. He's a big kid, showed great chase speed at end, and I expect him to be every bit as good at linebacker. Garrett Sharp is a player.
On linebacker, I get to play both sides of the field everywhere. And the end, I was just on one side of the field, so if they would run away from me, it would be hard for me to get them. But now linebacker, I can get to them wherever.
Now another guy we've got in the defensive line for the All-Valley team is Josh Huerta from San Benito. I would call him an unsung hero in that he doesn't show up a lot in the big numbers, stats, tackles, but I consider him to be the glue of that defense. You know, they've got some outstanding kids coming back on that D, but Huerta is a very solid player, dependable team leader, and he will come up with big plays occasionally. The fact is, you always need a guy who's going to stop the run and who's going to make tackles and who's going to be a positive presence on the field. I think the other kids on the defense look to him, and that's one of the reasons why we selected him for the team.
I try to be the first one off the ball all the time and try to beat my opponent, whichever way he goes.
Well, we decided to go with 4 linebackers, not necessarily because we happen to be big fans of the 3-4 defense, but because we've got so many good linebackers in the Valley. And the fact is, when we name you 4 of them, there's going to be about 5 or 6 or 7 that you say should have been there, and we'll probably agree. The first guy, following on the Greyhound motif, is Rene Chavez of San Benito. This guy, obviously, when you have 181 tackles, you're doing something right. He's a stocky kid. He loves to hit. He's all over the field. And he's surprisingly fast. Don't make the mistake, seeing he's kind of a fire plug body that he can't run because he broke off a 46-yard run on offense in the playoffs last year. For my money, Rene Chavez was the most active linebacker of the year, and I see no reason why he won't get 15, 16 tackles a game in 2012.
But when the play goes on, like I just see the running back. I don't see the lineman coming. I try to avoid him as much as I can, and I see the running back. Once he gets the ball, it's just me and him. I don't see the lineman. I just try to get away from him. So I just see the running back.
And there's a look so far at our defensive All-Valley preseason team. Now, if your favorite defensive player isn't there and you want to say, "What's up, Doc?" tweet at me, 95640 or hit us up on the website at 956sports.com. Maybe you haven't seen your All-Valley defensive player yet because we haven't gotten to him. We'll come back with more of our All-Valley defensive special right here on the Huddle with Fox 2.
A lot of people don't know who we are, what we do. These girls showed up one day all dressed up, and they thought it was a dance hall. We wanted people to know that we're building materials. Mott's cash and carry building materials. People come in and they're surprised. Man, you guys have got great deals. I didn't know you was here. I mean, we've been here for over 40 years. And you thought the good old days were gone forever? We're still here. Mott's cash and carry building materials. It's not a dance hall, you know.
It's time to rethink everything you know about dieting. It no longer takes months to lose weight. The HCG weight loss plan that everyone's talking about is now less expensive and easier than ever to get with the help of the weight loss clinic of Dr. Jose Rodriguez. Magazine write-ups, TV interviews, no weight loss plan has ever received this much positive press. Lose 26 pounds in 26 days. Call 627-4056 for the weight loss clinic of Dr. Jose Rodriguez.
Let your imagining soar with me to a magnanimously magnificent mashup deeply ingrained in our brain's pleasure center. The simple joy of sublimity, where decidedly delicious any size icy cold Coca-Cola soft drink or sweet tea is just $1.
The deals are heating up on Built Ford tough trucks right now at Spikes Ford during the Ford Summer Sell-a-thon. Save $10,248 off MSRP on a new 2012 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT, only $23,997. Save $7,408 off MSRP on a 2012 Ford Escape XLT, only $19,877. A new 2012 Ford Fusion, only $15,557, or a new Ford Focus, only $13,977. The deals are hot on rides that are built Ford tough at Spikes Ford, Expressway 83 in Mission.
The sun shines bright as it moves across my face. I feel the light and everything is in its place. Oh, I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me. And life is good the way it should, the way it was meant to be. And it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
Now a reminder, we're going to be here every Sunday morning at 9:30 recapping everything that has happened within the Valley High School football world. But right now, let's turn it back to Dr. Greg Selber, our reigning Texas Sports Writer of the Year, and catch up with more of our preseason favorites.
There's only one guy in the Valley this season who was a preseason All-State pick by the Texas Football Magazine. He plays for Harlingen. His name is Nathan Prado, and as a linebacker, he is just a playmaker. The guy will hit you. He can run. He blocks kicks. He takes turnovers for touchdowns. Look, if you watch a half of a Harlingen game, he will have made 3 or 4 impact plays. I can just guarantee it. He was at his best, I think, in the big games. You look at some of these big-time numbers he put up against the great teams, including double figures tackles against Madison in the 4th round. Nathan Prado was a fantastic football player.
I see us being state champions. That's my vision. That's our goal. We worked hard in the off season. We're working hard here. And coaches have drilled in our minds that state champions, 16-0. So that is our goal. That's where I see us.
Now, Tommy Chavez of Weslaco is one of those guys that he's an intimidator. He's got a lot of attitude. You know, he's got a lot of confidence and a lot of skills. I mean, you're talking about a kid who's about 210, 215, good wheels. He's athletic enough to have played a big part on that 7-on-7 team that went to state. Tommy Chavez, I remember watching him last year against Memorial in the playoffs. He made 21 tackles, and he just dominated that side of the football. I think that the Panthers are going to depend on him to be a team leader. I know he's going to have a big year, and I enjoy watching him play because you'll never know what he's going to come up with, man. He's a real spirited guy, and I like checking out what he has to do and say.
This season, I'm just looking forward to spending my last year with my teammates, and then coming trying to get to that district championship, and go as far as we can in the playoffs.
Saraland's got some of the best defensive players in the Valley, and definitely, to me, Joey Esquivel is one of them. This kid, you know, the coaches over there last year were telling me when he was a sophomore before the season started, you wait and this kid is going to be something else. Well, he already is something else. He's an outstanding tackler. He's got good range. I think he's slimmed down and gotten stronger, so he too, like Garrett Sharp, was able to use the offseason to his advantage. I feel like he's just coming to his own as a junior, and he should have an amazing season right in the middle of that Rattler defense, alongside another guy who I always find to be a tackling machine, that's Bradley Klein. So Joey Esquivel, preseason All-Valley defensive team, and I think it's a deserving choice.
Because once you're out there in the fourth quarter when it really matters, it's just about just getting that extra mile, that extra inch. When you're at the goal line, you have to stop the other team. It's all about heart.
Now, since we started this show at McAllen High, I figured it was only right to make that segue at the beginning. Now we're here. Philip Cantu, for those guys who follow football in this town, know that he is an amazing playmaker. I mean, kind of like Nathan Prado, but as a defensive back. Philip will take the ball for 6, you know, the pick 6, he did it 3 times. I saw the guy run down on the kickoff team and take the ball out of the receiver's hands, or the ball carrier's hands, and go for a touchdown. I mean, the guy, he's some kind of special, he's got that instinct, you know. The thing is, he's always around the ball. He knows what he's doing with the ball. And like we said earlier on another show, don't be surprised to see Philip Cantu on offense catching some long bombs, because he's just that good an athlete. I've seen some intense football players down here in the past, and we have some on the team this year. But if you're asking me who the craziest guy is on the team, I would opt for Vince Ortiz from Edinburgh North. You look at him sometimes, first of all, he 12 tackles a game, he's strong as a bull, runs a 4.4, 4.5. But the thing about him is, you look at him sometimes in the huddle, man, snot will be coming out of his nose, spit will be coming down his chin. He just can't wait to hit somebody. And that's what you want in a defensive player. Plus, he's got great skills, too. He's got good hands. He might see some time at quarterback. I love to watch him play because you know sooner or later he's going to come and hit that pile. And a lot of times he's the one that starts the pile.
Well, honestly, I don't think I have much talent. Everything I've done, I worked for. It's never given to me. I came in freshman year, didn't know anything about defense, and now, you know, I'm doing extremely well. So everything I did, I worked for.
Now, Mar Gonzalez of Palmview out in La Jolla is an interesting choice. He probably could make one of these teams as a return man or a back because he's that good an athlete. He's one of the fastest guys in the Valley. I'm sure that you guys who follow track and field have seen a lot of this cat at the meets. I mean, he's always a high achiever in the jumps and the sprints and whatnot, but he's also a great football player. Now, Los Fresnos has some great athletes this year, but I believe the best one of them all is Akeem Simeon, and he's on our All-Valley defensive team as a defensive back. You know, this guy, somewhat like Mar Gonzalez, probably going to end up playing both ways because he was an incredible receiver with an amazing average yards per catch last year. But on defense, anticipation, instinct, if he gets the ball on defense, he's gone. You can forget it. He's one of those multi-sport athletes. He plays basketball. He runs track. He just is dangerous. And, you know, anywhere you put that kid on the field, he's going to be effective. We have him as a defensive back. You know, Los Fresnos made it to the playoffs last year with him running the show, and I expect him to have a great season again in 2012.
I expect to get better and better each day. No, I don't want to fall back anyway. I want to make my teammates better as they make me better every day. I know those guys looking up to me each and every day, so I want to make them as good as possible and have a memorable season because I know this is going to be a special season.
Donna's had some great kickers and punters in the past couple of years. In fact, stretching back over the decade. This year is no exception. In Ever Magallanes, they've got a guy who had a fine year punting the football. And let's face it, there is no substitute for a guy who can get the ball deep, who can get some hang time, and will keep your team from having to play a half field.